Mission demo in.
Places, everyone. Roll the tape, please. We're ready.
Time for the show.
Hello and welcome to Darker Days Podcast. This is a podcast focusing on the world of darkness, new and old. I am one of your hosts, Vince, along with my co-host, Mark. Mark, say hello.
Hey there. Nice to meet you guys. Welcome to Darker Days Radio.
Yes, and this podcast, like I said, will focus on the old world of darkness and the new world of darkness. And we do have an email. Let's start off the show with that in case someone's listening to us. Mark, what's that email?
That's darkerdaysradio@gmail.com. You can also use Google Mail, but it defaults to Gmail. So that's darkerdaysradio@gmail.com. Drop us a line.
If you have any comments, criticisms, or you just want to join us, maybe make a sound segment for the show, a bumper, just drop a line. You want to come on the show? That's fine. We'll have you on as a special guest. Basically, we're going to have 4 or 5 segments for each show. Mark, why don't you introduce the first segment?
Well, segment number 1 will be Strange News. It's a kind of set of advice for storytellers and players. Basically, it's going to be spooky or odd news from around the globe, and we're going to explain how you can use this for inspiration in your game. Story hooks, character ideas, odd goings-on for you to drop in mid-plot. So, if you want to know about zombie ants or the Georgia Guidestones, paradox carvings or haunted wells beneath pubs, or the serpent people from the Hollow Earth, this is going to be the section for you.
And definitely how we can apply that in-game as a player and a storyteller. And wow, I hate to see those giant ants in one game. Wow.
But they're not giant, they're just zombies.
Well, whatever. Zombie, giant, whatever. And moving along, segment 2 will be basically the old world of darkness, where we'll focus on different aspects of the game, starting with, say, Vampire, the Dark Ages, or Dark Ages Vampire, and then we'll move our way up. Give you our reviews on it, give you some builds, maybe some storyteller advice as well, player advice, and that's about it. Anything you have to add to this segment?
Well, I think a look at some classic World of Darkness products here and there, maybe some of the more popular books and some of the old forgotten issues that have been overlooked. We'll bring those out and lay them out on the table and pour over the bones.
Sounds like a plan. Now, what's segment 3?
Well, segment 3, we're going to give the same treatment to the new World of Darkness. Now, a lot of players have moved on from the old World of Darkness to the new setting, so we're going to give them ample airtime and ample treatment. We're also going to be using this section to look at ideas from the new World of Darkness and see how they can be folded back into games set in the classic setting. The new World of Darkness has got some fantastic rules. Its books are chock full of crazy ideas, and there's plenty of opportunities to take those ideas and take some of those rules concepts and work them back into the older games.
Oh, definitely. It's easy to interchange new and old darkness, World of Darkness, I should say, excuse me. Like I said, I was playing a game where we interchanged Demon, the Fallen, into the game, and it was very simple to just take the stats and run with it and be able to use it in-game, and it wasn't that difficult, wouldn't you say?
No, they're a lot more compatible than they seem at first glance. And, of course, ideas are system neutral. They can go wherever you want them to go.
That's always a benefit in New World of Darkness and Old World of Darkness. And for our last segment, we will talk about World of Darkness Online, the multi-massive player RPG that should be coming out sometime in the next 2 years. So they say. I haven't heard much about it other than it's supposed to be awesome.
A few snippets here and there online. I was interested to read that they're going for a pretty hard realism angle in it. So mixing that with the supernatural, which should be interesting. I'm also keen to see, as a big mage player myself, how they manage to incorporate the freedom of creative thaumaturgy. And one of the big draws of the mage line is that you can come up with your own spells on the fly. And if they can capture that at the keyboard, that'll be impressive.
I wonder how they're going to do that. That would be interesting to see. I also wonder how they're going to focus the game on. I mean, they're going to have, you could play certain vampire clans, certain werewolves, mages. I just don't know.
Well, I think they're going to have to limit it to begin with. It would just be a nightmare to code if you had to get the entirety of the game world. straight out there with the initial release. But hopefully it's something that will grow over time. They've had great success with Eve, and hopefully they can reproduce that with World of Darkness Online.
Well, hopefully, because, there's always going to be someone out there whining and complaining about something, because,
Isn't that the way?
that's the way about everything. And just to talk a little bit about ourselves, currently, right now, I am going to be starting a Hunter the Vigil game in the New World of Darkness. My players want me to run that quick start guide that you can download from whitewolf.com, and just to try it out and see if they like it.
Those quick start guides are good. I remember the one for Exalted was fantastic, and the old one for Vampire the Masquerade was very good as well. There's been people who've said you can pick up those and just run a whole chronicle with just a quick start guide. Never tried that myself, but it would be fun to give it a go, I think.
Interesting, a whole chronicle based on a quick start guide. I definitely have to look more into this quick start guide, and I've only been read through about half of it, and I have until Friday to get it going.
Get busy, man.
Yeah, well, I can do it. I'm pretty good at being a GM/storyteller. So, why don't you tell me a little bit about what you're playing right now?
Right now I'm running a mage game every week on Tuesday nights, Mage the Ascension. Although we've taken a bunch of liberties with the setting, traditions are gone, technocracy's gone. We've stripped it right down with the idea that there's been some kind of mysterious apocalypse has taken place in the supernatural world. The real world goes on regardless, but as far as the supernaturals go, populations have been stripped right back. And the mages are kind of exploring what on earth has happened, how come there's very few other mages around. It's a real orphans on the city street kind of approach. We've tweaked the rules here and there, and we're just kind of running with that. 2 or 3 sessions in right now.
It sounds quite interesting. Have you looked at some of the new mage stuff and applied that in your game?
I have. I've taken a handful of rules here and there and tweaked those in just to give the setting a little bit more richness and flavor. The first couple of sessions actually were based on a story seed in, I think it's called the Urban Legends book. I might be getting the name wrong there. It's a set of stories about a guy who goes around stealing people's kidneys. So we used that as the opening.
That is an urban legend. Yes, I do remember that one.
Well, it's always good to start a player off in the bath missing a kidney. Great way to hook somebody into the game.
Well, yeah, got to find my kidney, got to figure out who did this to me.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that'll basically do it for the show. This was just an introductory show to get everybody familiar with our voices and let people know we're out there. And unlike other podcasts out there, we're just going to focus purely on the game and fun things with the game. We're not going to deter off topic and stray you in the wrong direction. Right, Mark?
Stay close to the darkness and stay true to the darkness. That's our motto. Well,
Yes.
It's not, but it's a good idea anyway.
I actually like that motto. We need a nice tagline for this show. We'll
There you
figure
go.
something out eventually. Why don't you give them that email address one more time?
Okay, the email address is darkerdaysradio@gmail.com. Drop us a line and we'll get right back to you.
We promise. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night. Oh, by the way, our next show, the first full show, will be recorded on Wednesday the 20th and broadcast very shortly after that. So watch the airwaves.
Yes, it's also very important for our listeners to wonder when the show is coming back again. Oh, boy. Have a good night.